Okay, so guys, welcome to the workshop, how to turn a group of people into a team. It's a leadership and team building workshop, and it's hosted by the Xes Helsinki, and I will be your speaker. My name is Sergei, Iljin. So the idea is, unfortunately, even if you connect the best experts of your area, you can guarantee success. And a group of people might not become great, but the team can. Who agree, you can put the plus into the chat, or also if you have some kind of questions, you can ask. This is like not a problem. And let's start. Just a second. Yeah, I saw the pluses, so all these things. And on this workshop, you will learn the difference between groups and teams, which is very important. Also, you will find out the coaching team building strategy, which I use, and get the tools for creating the perfect teams. So get ready. I think it will be very useful. And a few words about me. My name is Sergei Iljin. I'm the Xes event manager and the board member right now. And also I'm a certified trainer of coaching. And one of my highlights, when I had my own cafe 2 years ago, 3 years ago actually. So I hired to build a team which stayed for the same, for the 1.5 years after the business was sold. So we opened the cafe from the zero, like from the beginning, and I was hiring all these people. I was teaching all of them. I was making the team of all of them. And for me, it's like very, very cool highlight that after we sold this business, because I was moving to Finland, it was necessary to sell this business. So after we sold that to the different owner, and there was like one interesting situation that all workers were Russian and the owner was Estonian, you know. So it's also, there was language problems. They could be, but even include all these metrics, the team stayed at the same place for 1.5 years. So for me, it's like a very cool result. And also two of them now, one of them is owner of this cafe now, and the second one is worker there. So it's 4 years later, they are still on the same, because I built the communications inside the team and between them. So I think it's good result. So the part number one is the group dynamics. So basically today we will talk about the group dynamics and leadership skills. I'm also apologize for my English, because like this is my second event in English, and maybe will be some kind of mistakes, but please.
You are doing good, so.
Yes. I need to say that because
you are doing good. Your English is very good.
So let's start from the group dynamics. And this is the phase one. And before we start with the group dynamics, I would like to have with you a small acquaintance. So please say hi. If you don't have camera, you can turn it on. And please briefly introduce yourself. For example, what's your name, why you're here, what are you interested in, and so on. Like 1 minute will be okay. I explain also after for what we need that also.
Okay. Hi, can I start?
Yes.
Yes, I don't have a camera to use, but I'm here because I'm starting a business, and I'm actually in a Haaga-Helia startup school right now. So I think this is something I need in the future. So I'm really interested about how to create a group, how to build a team, how to manage all that, because this is my first time starting a business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Welcome. And what's your name?
My name is Sanni.
Sanni. Yeah.
Sanni.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay, we can go on. Thank you. Who's next?
Hi, I can start now. So my name is Shah Hassan, and I'm a sales manager in a company named Hankia Oy. It's the largest agribusiness in Finland, but probably largest in Scandinavian countries. So I'm expertise in this field, and I do have some patent of myself, my long research career. So I'm thinking to take those in the business, and why not doing or playing in this startup things. And therefore, I've been looking the platform, and I found the Xes in the LinkedIn through some of the friends, and I try to be the member, though even though I haven't yet accepted. But Evelyn said that someone is sick, so she will be coming back and accept my application. But after that, I hope I will be regular.
Yeah, thank you.
I can go next.
Yeah.
So it's Sabi here, and I'm here because I'm really interested about the team, how a team works together and stuff like that. Because actually I was working for a B2C company before, but I left and I just resigned from my position. And with my fiance, we are about to start our own business, and of course we are planning long term. We have long plans, and for many years, and I'm 100% sure that we need the knowledge about the topic of this meeting. So yeah, I'm just looking forward what you're gonna say about it, and we see that how it is.
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Come on, it's like 1-2 minutes.
I'll get it over with. Hi. So my name is Julia Reinhard. I am the vice chair of Access. I also work in the very small marketing department of an IT consulting company at the moment for my work placement. And I'm here basically because I also posted this in the chat, but I've had like a couple of teams that just worked amazingly well together, and it just sort of gelled naturally, and we ended up having a lot of success. And then there's some teams that just never kind of work. So I'm really looking forward to finding out if there's something that I can do better or I can understand better to make like my experience with teams work better, instead of just leaving it to chance and being like, oh, that was really nice, you know, and then like, oh, this next one, oh, it was really terrible, you know. So looking forward to hear what you have to say about all of that.
Okay, thank you, Yuda. Okay, who's next? Evelyn, Anastasia?
Hi, my name is Anastasia. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm marketing manager of Xes, and I'm here because I need to document the event so I can share it on social media.
Okay.
But I'm always interested about any new subject, and I believe that's a very important subject. So I'm just looking forward.
Okay, thank you. Evelyn?
Yes, hi, my name is Evelyn, and so yeah, I'm here because I also work in a team together with some people here, and I'm really interested to hear Sergei's take on this topic, and also I'm interested to learn from you.
Okay, thank you. Dora, do you hear us? Do you with us? Will you introduce yourself? Semi also. I'm gonna check the chat. Okay. Dora can't use the audio. Okay, and the Semi Saraste, if you can say hi to us, it will be like very useful. Okay, so let's go, guys. Thank you very much for the introducing. It was very important, and I will also explain like why. So let's go. And the question is, how does it feel like now? I think basically we can use the voice and the camera, and you can just talk like if you want, or you can use chat, whatever. So how does it feel like now? Is it feels like a little bit more safety, a little bit more friendly? Of course, it takes like not so much because of online, but how do you feel? Please share.
I feel great to kind of hear everyone's voice and also to see the faces. I think it adds a lot to this.
Okay, yeah, because this is basically this is the very important thing, and we will talk about that also later on the phases of the group dynamics. Somebody else wants to share? No.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
same opinion
Yeah.
as Evelyn. So it's more friendly after we know each other like a little bit after briefly introduction. So feels good.
Yes, thanks. And also, if so, let's say this was like a small example how you can engage the people to the communication and how you can start building a team from the beginning. So this is like just one of the tricks which you can always use. We always use this, especially on our like trainings or on our public events if we have like enough of time. So if you can connect each other people who don't know each other, it will help them to feel like more friendly. It will help them to feel more comfortable, and if they feel like more friendly, they will start listen better. So this is also one of the values. So the group versus team, what's the difference, guys? What do you think? I will try to engage you as much as possible, so please.
I think, do you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think the group is more like it can be just random people, but the team has something that they work for together. Like they have one mission they are going to.
Yeah, perfect. Somebody else wants to share? I want to participate. Okay. Nobody. So that was the absolute correct answer, because if you have the group of people, you have like just the group of people. They, let's say, everybody think only about itself, and they don't have like goal for everybody, and they don't go forward all together. So the group of people is, let's say, the maximum unuseful like thing from my English, because they will not work together very well. And from the opposite, the team, the difference of the teams is, yes. So first of all, the team follows one goal. And this is really important, because they don't try to push and to pull by itself, because when the people move together, it's always easy and they know where are they going, so they are all interested in the result. So also the team have the same values. What is also very important, when you're building the team, when you are as a team leader, as a group leader, you need to know what values your team can offer, or what values you can offer for the team. Because if somebody want to be famous and another person want to do everything like correct, they have just different values. There will be a conflicts inside the teams. So if you have the conflicts inside the teams, it will not help you to grow. So the values is very important. And about the values, we will talking more at the, let's say, at the coaching part, and also in the stages of the group dynamics. Also very important that team can be independent. Please please remind this thing, that if you are a good leader, and especially if you want to build the business, your first idea should be how to go out of the business, because this is like the really entrepreneurship mindset. Because if you don't think about how to go out of the business, you will be there all the time. So this is the key to build perfect team which can work without you. So the good team can be independent because of the roles and all the things we also talk a little bit later, but this is very important notice. Also the patience and the friendship. The people in the team become friends, and it helps them and helps you as a team builder to get the better result. And also one more important thing, that 2 and more people are already the team. This is very important because now please take these formulas not only as a business part, because for example, your school groups, your friends, your family, like your husband or wife and your kids, you can also build a team of them, and this is very important. You know, can be a very good team if you have the family as a team, especially when you have a long time goes together. So I think it's very important, and it can helps to get less conflicts, definitely. So this is what's about the team. And now we are going to the 3 stages of the group dynamics. In the beginning, I would like to say that all the teams, and teams, as I said already, is more than 2 people, they have 3 stages, basically 4, but about the 4th I will say in the end. So the stage number 1 is the forming, stage number 2 is the storming, and the stage number 3 is the norming. I will talk more about each of them, but also there is one more stage, stage number 4, it calls death, you know, because you need to understand when you build any kind of team, someday death will happen. What does it mean? That means, like, if you do some kind of training, like 2 months training, it will end after the 2 months. If you build some kind of project management team, it will be also end after some kind of period of time. So this is also, like, you just need to remember and to understand that. We don't go into this 4th phase, but just for you know. Okay, is it clear right now?
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank you. So I will ask you to talk more with me, because I'm also, like, let's say, more the live events. I would like to see the people's eyes, but online, so I will engage you as much as possible. So about them, and one more thing I forgot to say is our main idea is to bring people from the phase number 1, is from forming to phase norming. So this is the main goal, and this is easy to understand, and this is thing you should need to know what to do. And so if you know that, and if you understand that, so everything will be, like, easy and clear. So stage number 1 is the forming. This is beginning of all the teams, all the groups, and let's say when people meet, the forming stage begins. And what happened on this stage, you know, for me, it's easy to understand to explain on some kind of maybe events or new groups beginning. Let's say, for example, you are coming to some kind of workshop, or you are coming to some kind of project. And on the first stage, first and almost only one thing people think about is the safety, because everybody wants to be the safety. This is our instinct, and people are, let's say, more quiet. They don't talk maybe too much. They are a little bit close, you know. Who is understand what I'm talking about, and who, if you remind some kind of events, and if you remind how you was doing on these events, for example, if you come somewhere for the first time, how was your feeling? Guys? Or
I mean, I guess I could say something. Like, I remember the first time actually that I walked into, like, one of the access meetings, and I was so scared of everybody, because, like, everybody, there was people that knew each other already, and they were in one corner, and then there was me, and I only knew a couple of people, and they weren't there yet. And I think that there was, like, And I'm pretty social, but it was very hard for me to be like, hi, like, how are you?
Yeah, absolutely the same. And you need to understand as a group leader or as a team builder that absolutely everybody feels the same, let's say, only except the leaders, because the leaders can take two kind of positions. For example, leaders can be active, they try to get as much attention as possible. Maybe like sometimes it happened like just somebody came into the room and he started to do some kind of things that everybody like look at him. Or another side of the leadership, they can be like just watching, so they can also be quiet and they are watching and they are analyzing what's going on, and so they let the people do what they do and then they make the decisions. So it's like two kind of the situations. And also desire to be accepted and the fear of the failure are extra exacerbated. Yeah, sorry for that. So let's say when any kind of team or any kind of group collects together, people are thinking more about the safety and how they looks like and so on. So this is stress for everybody, and this is the phase number one. And at least it takes like not very long, because very fast people are going to the second phase, and basically it goes like by itself, because people are like the social animals, let's say, and we start to communicate. And when we start to communicate, it starts the storming period, and this is the period of demonstration of strength and expansion of borders. So when people start to communicate, they start to look like who is doing what, who is the leader, who is in the more passive position, and so on. And this is like distribution of roles and functions and the struggle of power. So let's say this is the more active phase of the group dynamics. And here conflicts can escalate, because when people start to communicate, especially when they don't know each other, it starting to be a conflict. And the coherence and the peace in a team can suffer. This thing you should understand. And when you understand this, it's very easy for you, because when you start to build the team, for example, for the first time, and suddenly 5 or 10 of your team members, like 2 or 3 of them, getting into the conflicts, yeah, so you can be a little bit scared of that. So you can be also panicked and don't know what to do. They have a conflict and so on. You should understand that this is like the normal, and this will help you also very much, because the second phase is the phase basically where we get most part of the work. And our main goal is to take our team from the phase number 2 to the phase number 3. So what about how do you understand now the phase number 2? Is it clear? Maybe some kind of examples from your life? Guys, please welcome. Because if we will discuss this, you will understand this like much better. Or you need more information. Don't be afraid, just tell me what you feel.
I kind of feel that this is like maybe like an evolution from the first phase, which can be super short even. I don't think there is like a time frame you can put to this, but I kind of feel that maybe in all the teams I work with, we definitely had this part. There was a kind of escalation of the conflict, but then it kind of turns into brainstorming, etc.
And also, it can be some kind of things that, this person do it like that way, and he did this, and he said that, and people are start to moving, like maybe some of them trying to get like out of the conflicts, and they start to talk with another people and all this stuff. Because you need to understand, if you will do nothing on this stage, the team can be broken also. because this is like also the very important part. So you need to check it very carefully. And the first thing what will help is that you know that you're gonna go through this stage, that this is like normal. And the second thing you need to check. And as a leader or as a team builder, you need to, let's say, like control all these situations. Most of all, to everything goes okay. And this stage, which calls storming, basically it takes most part of the time. And unfortunately, a lot of teams can go to the stage number 3 very late, or they don't go there at all because of like leader don't understand, or don't know where to go. Because for me it was easier because I was doing my business through my coaching studies. So I integrated all this stuff, and it was really beautiful that you get the knowledge and you can use it and you see the result, because it's like very cool. So please remember that the phase 2 is waiting for you always, and your main goal to pass this as fast as possible. I will talk how to do this a little bit later. So the phase number 3 is the norming. This is where you need to go, and this is like the working productivity. This is a coherence and interchange and friendship, the pursuit of goals together, the atmosphere of unity, and the team is the single organism. Also, it's useful to maintain dynamic friction. So what's this about? This is about like when all conflicts are gone, and you have all your group members already, let's say like a small family, you know, because my workers, they said that I come to work and I feel here like I'm at home, you know. I think it's very important to keep this feeling for your team members, because if your team member or if your worker are happy, he will be like twice or 3 times or 4 times more productivity. He will give you like the 4 times more value for the same money, you know, because this is very important. I also checked that because I had the situation when I can't pay like a lot for my workers just because we didn't like earn much more money, but they were still working hard, because it was a team and everybody was knowing where are we going, and everybody was like happy to do this thing. So if you want to save like some money, this is also very good investment to put your team into the norming mode. One more thing is the people on the third phase. People are like, the team begins to be more independent. You don't need to control this much, because let's say you are the leader as a team builder, but definitely there will be one more leader inside the team. And if you will get to the conflicts inside this leader, this is not very good for you. The best thing you can do is to make the leader inside of team your friend, and he will do like the work instead of you. Now, let's say it into the easy words. So he will take the part of the leader in the team, so you can be like more free. And this is important, because if you want to think like more about the strategy and all these things, it will be nice that you have such kind of person who controls like a little bit everything. But this is also a tricky thing. But for me, I had the great experience when I made my coaching courses. You know, I had a very strong control leader. It was the person who had like, let's say 170 workers at his company, and I was in the teacher like role in this course, and he was always something to say, you know. I will say something and he was like translating my words to the class. And it was really interesting, and it was really funny, because you can go to the conflict with this control leader, or you can become a friend with him. And when you can become a friend with him, everything starts working very well. So you can give like, you can make less control and less pressure to your team, so the team starts to be independent. One more interesting thing is about the atmosphere. I said about the goals. So everybody knows what they can get in the team, because you know, people and humans are always thinking what they can get. This is like the normal thing. Somebody wants money, somebody wants career, somebody wants something else. And at the norming phase of the group dynamics, everybody understands clearly what they will get, and they are ready to work for that. And this gives like result what we need. Any questions? How is this stage clear?
I just wanted to say that Dora in the chat had a good point, that maybe like this is not a linear process. And I think I agree with that, that maybe also in this norming phase, there could be conflicts. And I don't think that's like unnormal to have them within the team, but maybe it's about how you handle it. And maybe in this phase, it's kind of moving into more like brainstorming together instead of just arguing about things.
Okay. Yes, but there's fifth as well. Okay, Dora is knowing something. Yeah, but for me, it's easy to understand. Of course, like when you are working with the people, it's like not the linear process, but you can always check on what stage you are, on what phase you are. And Dora, if you can share about the fifth, we will be very happy. So overall, three-phase management scheme is like so how to work with that. The phase number one is the forming, and it helps you to get faster to the phase number three. First, you need to create interaction rules and set the frames. For example, on this workshop, you can ask the questions by the voice. It's not a problem. Like, or if you have like some kind of question, let's say if you work in the team, so you need to show people the rules, what they have, and it will be easier to communicate when the people know how it works. Because if you don't have rules, it can go into the conflicts after. So try to set the rules first of all, like the rules and the frames, like to people to understand how it works. The second thing is a report. Do you know something about the report? I don't know. Is this like word in English?
Yeah,
I'm not
is
sure.
it about like building connection? Like
yeah,
it's actually French. It's rapport. The T is silent, and then English has sort of like adopted it.
Okay, so this is about the connections between people. You know, if say it by the easy words, to people feel like they are on the same wave, like they are thinking the same, and all this stuff. It's like about more the connection. So try to get them feel better, like between each other, and show them that they are in safety. For example, you can always like offer, for example, we are offering like the tea, coffee, and the fruits on our events, and this helps people feel safety also. So like online dating and meetings, it's about you can connect people as much as possible. And also involvement in active communication for transfer to the second phase. So what you need to do, you need to, by easy words, you need to set the frames of the communication and to show people how it works and what they can do and what they can do and how it works and where to ask and how to ask and all these things, and engage them into communication. And so you are going to the phase number two, is the storming. So here will be very useful moderating methods. For example, if you are using like the brainstorm or something like that. So let's say somebody needs to be a leader. somebody needs to take this part and to show what people can do and what people can do, and somebody need to look about all these things. Also, it can help like group exercises, games, and also one thing can help you is like the lightening the stage of the group dynamics. This is about like when you just saying to people that, okay, we have like 3 phases. Phase number 1 is this, phase number 2 is this, phase number 3 is this. We are now on the phase number 2, and we need to go to phase number 3 if we want to get a good team. And if everybody understand this, so this is also like about the everybody's goal. So when the people understanding this, it's helped them to go to the phase number 3. And also different interactives and access to higher NLL is like the neurological levels. It's like about neurological levels. It's about what people want to get, what is like their mission. Because if you can take people to their mission, they will be always with you. And also the setting a common strong goal. That's why it's very important to take people with the same mindset, or with the same goals, or with the same things. And also if some people in your team don't have like the same goal, there can be 2 situations. One of them is that person will leave the team, and another situation that you as a team builder or as a leader, you can help to find the strong goal to this person, and which will be the same like as everybody. For example, let's say some of the people wanna, let's say people, you build a team and the people wants to earn more money. Yeah, that's right. This is like the basic situations. Everybody wants to get more, but how to get this to the higher neurological levels is that you can understand, you can explain to your workers or to your people that if we will do our job like so we can't earn like more money, and the clients don't want to give us the money because our job is not good. So I have like, as a owner of the company, I don't have enough money to pay for you. And this is like logical, and this is clearly understandable for person. So if you want to get more money, I'm ready to share, and if we will earn like more money for the company, you will get more money. Of course you need to do that if you're saying that, but it works like very well, because people understanding for what are they working about. And to some and other people, money is not the best motivation. It's also, so there can be something different about, not about the money. It can be something like about success. Somebody want to build career, or somebody want to feel safety, and so on. So you just need to collect all these things and to combine to something one. And even it can be, you know, it can be different for all the people, but the main goal should be clear. Like if we are going there, you can get this, you can get this, and you can get this. Is it okay for now? Is it understandable, my speech?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And so you are going to the norming stage, and here is like the maintain dynamic friction and competitive methods. Because even when you go to the stage number 3, you need to, let's say, if everything okay, everything's go worse, let's say, because the system always wants to get to crash. It's the same when you, like, for example, when you make the cleaning at home, and if you don't do nothing, someday it will be very dirty. So the group dynamics and the stages is the same. So if you want to keep your group on the 3rd phase, you need to bring them like some kind of competitions, some kind of, like, not very big, but let them feel the dynamics. Let them feel that they are moving somewhere, that they are grow, that they do something. different competitions and so on. That's why, for example, you have in the big companies like the member of the month, for example. Yeah, this is also the element of the third phase moderative methods, because that's how people can work better. This is from one side, it motivates, from another side, this is a small competition. So this is about the phases, and here is the futures of the phase 2, because phase 2 is the most important for us, because like on the phase 3 everything is more or less clearable, and on the phase 2 we have like most of all problems. So the second phase is difficult or easy depending of the moral levels of the participants, intelligence, and their ego. I think, this is my opinion, as a group leader, you need to take care about everybody, especially in your team, especially if you have small team, because after that, if you have bigger team, you can clone that thing, because you can easily work with the team until 10 people. And if you have team more than 10 people, then you can get 2 teams. And the second team will have like the same rules. There will be a leader who will check all the stuff, and this goes longer and longer. And if people part in the second phase, then the relationship remains tense. So relationships, for example, like lady and the young man start to doing their relationships, and when they meet first, second, or third time, it can be still phase number 1, or they can go to the phase number 2 more faster, let's say faster. But if they don't see their own like goals, for example, lady wants to have the kids and the man don't want to have the kids, you know, so their values are not the same. Like, so if they part at this phase, there still can be conflicts. And also at the second phase, if you will part on any other people, they still can be conflicts, because you are like not enough friends, let's say. Also, this is also very important. If new participants are added during the phase 2 or 3, then often the phase goes down until 1 unit and residency begins. So what does it mean? If your team are now perfectly working at the phase number 3 and you get a new worker, the group dynamics will definitely go to the phase number 2. You need to understand that. And if you understand that, you know what to do. So the easiest things you should do is to get this new person into the team. Tell about this person, yeah, let everybody know their names and let they connected, and let's say you need to integrate this person as much faster as possible. For example, I don't know, is this understandable now about the new person, new participants?
This is very clear.
Okay, thank you. Because this is also very important, especially when you have the new team members. And if you miss that moment, you can stay on the phase number 2, because, you know, if you will miss this thing, there can start some conflicts and the motivation of the people and so on and so on. So you need to be very careful. And when you know that, also this like the huge moment, because when the group dynamics drops to the phase number 2 and the let's say the rest of people was still in the team and they know each other very well, so you go to the phase number 3 very fast if you help them. So this is the very important thing. And also if a new leader arrives during to the third phase, then she can fly off to the second, exit, talk separately with the old team members and create coalition team to implement changes like the Kotler's model. What does it mean? Now we had the situation why when I was knowing that I'm gonna sell my business, I was talking with my people, let's say 6 months before. 6 months before, they were knowing that we are going to sell this company. And this, like, let's say 6 months, I was talking with them about like their feelings, about their safety, about everything will be okay. So they trusted me and they stayed, because you know how it works. Basically, you have a pretty cool working team, and then you change the leader, and then like then it stops. Who know this? Who have these examples? Who had these examples, or maybe who saw these examples? Because it's not very easy just to take and to change the leader.
Well,
I have
oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
have some experiences from the past workplaces, so that when the leader has been changed, then the new routines are introduced quite quickly. So there is so many changes that it immediately creates this kind of reluctant feeling of the change. So maybe it could help if there's a new leader, then the new leader gently places the new things, or not everything changes at the same.
Yeah. Yes. Who else?
Yeah, I wanted to share experience when my brother was working in a bank, and then his boss was like changed. He got a new boss, and basically that new boss, he almost like fired all the team and got all his people who he like knew, and like it kind of was like a bad experience, but it was also like interesting, like why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just if you have any thoughts on that.
Why is this happen? Because sometimes people think that you know, this is, some people might think that let's say you remember the phase number 1. Yeah, here is all about like the rules and how team's gonna work. And it's sometimes it's easier to fire everybody and to get the new team with the new rules, with all the new things, because you don't need to explain to the people why now they are working in different ways. Because you know, it can be such of difficult situations, because let's say if you have the team and you have like the new leader, the leader needs to get respect of this new team, and it can be very difficult, and team could not give, like, let's say this respect to new leader, especially if he don't understand what to do, and especially if you are as a leader going to the new company or something like that. This is things you need to understand always. And sometimes it's easier to fire everybody and to get the new team with the new rules and start to build all these group dynamics from the beginning. Is that okay?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just for that Anastasia mentions, to me that sounds like dictatorship. Like if you just fire everyone because they are new to you, I kind of feel like that's, you know, like you're like a dictator, that you just want the team to get your respect without kind of even giving them a chance.
Yeah, but you know, people are people. They are different. Sometimes they are doing strange things, and like I'm looking from this part why it can be like logically. Of course, if you are not very smart person and you just fire everybody, and like, I don't know. So and if we are talking about like the Kotler's model, we don't going deep in this team today. So this is like how to integrate the changes into the companies, and also it has its own processes and its own stages, and it also takes the time. And as I said, I was preparing my team before, and if you the very small example, if you study somewhere, or if you have like some kind of needs to change you on some kind of period, so the first thing people usually to do is to introduce, you know, is to introduce and to say something good about this person, to make it goes like, because you need to make the team ready before it happens. So if you introduce this person before, the team will know already that this person will came and this person has this, and this, and they will be like more friendly to this person, and they don't have conflicts. For example, if in the university they change the teacher or something like that, it's always better to introduce, if you want to teacher, if you want the students like listen this teacher, for example, or if you change the trainer or something like that, or if you have some kind of person who need to come and do something, like some kind of leader who need to come, and you want that your team members like listen for this person, for example. So just prepare them, like, because the preparation is also very important thing. So this is about the second phases. Also, once again, there can be the conflicts. The main idea to go as fast as possible to the phase number 3. And here's the things what can happen on the phase number 2. And you definitely need to know that if you have like one more member in your team and or new leader, the group dynamics will definitely fall. Let's say I'm always going from that. I'm not believing like in wonders or miracles. I just know that the dynamics can fall and I need to do this and this, and it's easier, like, so I can feel like more confident. So now we're going to the methods of the overcoming of the second stage of group dynamics. So the first one is through like this dissociation and the humor. This is about when you try to be like a little bit funny, when you try to be not so engaged in the problems, let's say, because you are a little bit dissociated of the problems, for example, or you are a little bit dissociated from the situations, and you can add a little bit humor. Here is like more about the relationships between people to create like more safety atmosphere, and also moderating and the coaching methods. This is like about the rules and all these things, how to communicate, what people can do, what people can't do, and so on. Also, through the access of higher neurological levels and awareness of the common goals and the values. So you are trying to find out the values and the goals of each other person, and then you need to combine that. It can be a little bit tricky. Here you need to practice, and I will talk a little bit about that in the ending part. But one thing you need to do, you need to talk more with your people, always, to understand how they feel, like what they want, where they go, and so on. If you understand people, you can combine them. It's like very easy. And also through the explanation of the stages, because when people know what's going on and how this will go on, it's easy to them to move forward. And also to search the game aggression and interactivity. That's why on the, let's say, let's take an example, some kind of like summer days or the Christmas days in the companies. Who had that? You know, these corporative parties. What's there is going on? So this is the question.
I never had a corporate summer party.
Okay, we need to do this in Xes.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, who had?
You mean the corporate party in the company? We always have this kind of event, Christmas, summer, and many others.
Yes, and what's going on there?
With drinks, gossip, dance.
Yes. And why do you drink?
To make them refresh or getting rid of all the pressure, especially we work in the sales. Sales have always a lot of pressure in the team. So
yeah, and what do you think? What will happen if you don't do like this this vacation days or this corporate
Yeah,
days?
you will be like tired, overtired, or like you will lose your motivation, or even
Yeah,
cannot continue so long without any kind of social event. So this kind of social things, and also like, yeah, we think also it connected more. Like if you go for somewhere in a cottage somewhere in far away from your office, and you stay there together and doing all these strategic things there in the cottage and having some social events, then we think that it's connected more to the people.
yeah,
In the,
yeah. That's true. And this is also why all these events are done, because this helps like bring your team or your teams back to the third phase. Because what's happened, first of all, people always like drink, yeah, it's normal. And why always owners of the company buy a lot of alcohol, and it's like it's normal because alcohol, of course it's not very good. I don't drink also, but the alcohol helps people to feel like more relaxed. And when the people drinking, they start to communicate more, so they became more friends. Maybe they can get the new friends even in the company where they have been working for 1 year and 2 years. Suddenly this is like another another part of department, for example. So I think it's very important if you have like one more friend from company where you work, but somewhere in another department, so it will help you to work better for this company. And this is about the parties. Also on these team building events can be a lot of interactivity, different games, and to search the game of aggression. It can be like different sport games like football tournaments and all these things. And now guys, you know why these things are happened and why you need to do these things if you want to refresh your team, and if you want to get your team on the higher level again, on the third level of on the third phase of the group dynamics. And if you have the opportunity to do that, I think you should do that, and it will help. You will see, because after these kind of events, people also talk a lot about what happened and what was, how it was like, and so on. So it helps very much. It helps to hold the team onto the third phrase, because I really believe that if your worker or if your team member feel comfort and feel very good, his productivity will be 5 till 10 times more. This is like my experience, and I always trying to give like comfort to all my people, that they don't need to worry about this thing, so they can do things they can do better. Okay. I think it's clear. So the one more thing is the methods of overcoming the second stage of group dynamics is creating a shared vision. So what are we doing? Yes, and coordination of modus operandi. So this is like the way of actions is how. So people need to understand what are they doing and how they can go there, how can they get this goal. This is also very helpful and very useful, and you can find this goal just talking with people and giving them as much information as possible. That's why for example, when you go to the new job, when you get a new job in some kind of big company, you always get, let's say, this kind of folder of the papers where is written like what are we doing, why are we doing, our missions, our values, and so on. Of course it doesn't work like very well, for my opinion, but if people read this carefully, it helps to get them to the second and to the third stage of group dynamics, because they know the mission and the vision of the company, and it's easier. Of course, some kind of people can go for work just for money, and this is the role of the group leader and the manager, let's say, to work with them. What? So the third one is disclose the personal goals of life and career everyone tells to the team. So you can combine the team, for example, and everybody just talk what they want and like how they see this, and it will be very, very clear, you know, because when you know what's the goal of the members of your team, it's easier, and you are more friendly, you are more loyal to this person and to these people. So it's also a very good trick. Work with the feedback. I would like you to stop doing, and I want you to start doing. I want you to continue. So this is more about like to talking with people. I'm strongly believe that you need to talk with people as much as possible, especially in the beginning, especially when your teams are formed and all this stuff. You need to talk with them, you need to understand them, you need to combine them with each other, you need to find out their values, their goals, and so on. And if you can do that, when you find out all these things, you can put this to the top, to the middle, to the one goal, to the one vision, to the one like mission. And of course you can explain how the mission, here's like the one more interesting trick. If you know the goals of the company, and if you know the mission and the vision of the company, and if you know the goals of your team member or your team worker, you can explain to people how you can combine this and what values they will get from the company. And if the values starting to be clear, people are working much better. And definition of external and internal obstacles. What are the obstacles within the outside the team and that can interfere with your achievement, the goal? So I think it's about the same. It's about the goal. And the bringing conflicts to the surface, remove the masks. So if some kind of conflicts happen into your team, you should not close eyes on that. Of course, maybe sometimes, you know, it's kind of tricky thing where like how far you need to go inside the relationships of the another people, but also you should control these things. And if you see the conflict, and if you see the conflict is big, you can go like inside this conflict and ask people, because if you're a leader at the company, let's say you're the boss, you can ask, and you can ask these people, and you can help them to live more. So now you can make the decisions about their situations, and this can help. So try to bring the conflicts to the surface and remove the masks. So if it's clear, understandable who wants and what, it becomes much more easier. For example, one of the team members wants to do like his work very well, and another is lazy, and they had conflicts. So you need to be there, you need to understand that, and you need to make the decision about that. For example, also about the conflicts, I had interesting situations when I hired the new waiters, and all my team was let's say they don't love her. They said like everybody, like they said, okay, we don't want to work with her. So I didn't give her a job, because my team, the team which I built for the 1 year, was more important than one person in this case. And I better save my team than take one person who will give a lot of conflicts, and I need to solve all these problems. So sometimes it's better to take another. So this is about the methods. What do you think? How is it used for your situations? Did you find some kind of decisions for you? Or is it just like in theory?
I actually have a question that's going back to some of the earlier stuff that you said about when there's a group and there's kind of like the boss, and then the group also has a leader, and like how you can utilize that person. It's been my experience a couple of I would say different situations where there's been like a boss, and rather than utilize the leadership of like the leader of the group, they're very threatened by that. So I'm just wondering, since that seems to be a common dynamic, how you can work around that, maybe from the perspective of the person who's the group leader. I mean, obviously the boss just needs to kind of maybe become more open to seeing that as a benefit, I guess. But I don't know if you have any sort of like feedback or tips about that.
Okay, are you talking about, like, let's imagine that we have a boss, we have a group, and we have the leader, right, in this group?
Yeah, and I think like it's maybe like a person has been like identified as the leader, that's their position as per, you know, what they've been hired to do. But then instead of being like, oh great, this person's gonna lead the group, which is what I hired them to do, the boss finds out that that actually makes them feel maybe not so great, maybe insecure, and it's hard for the person to like do their job, which is to lead the group.
Can you say it a little bit easier and a little bit slower?
Okay, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
So like situations where you have like maybe some friction between, let's say, the boss and the leader of the group, because the boss has decided that he doesn't actually want maybe a leader of the group, or feels uncomfortable relinquishing some of his own leadership duties or her own leadership duties. Do you have any way to sort of recommend to work with this dynamic?
Okay. If I tell me if I understand correct.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
we have like the boss, and the boss don't want to be a leader, right? No?
Yes, exactly. Or like they thought they did, but then they have realized that actually makes them feel very insecure.
Okay, let's say that when you are boss, this is your, like, let's say, not opportunity. You should be a leader. You should learn, you should try, you should understand how it works. If you want to have good teams, and if you want to have good experience, you should learn these skills. So this is the first idea. If you don't, be ready to the conflicts. In this case, a team can go through the leader, because they have stronger relationships, for example, with the leader, and everything can be broken. And if you are a boss, and if you don't want to spend much time with all these leadership things, so you need to find to build the leader inside the team and make him your friend.
Okay, that does help. I think like it's just kind of one of those things I think maybe comes up a lot, where there's like tension between different levels of leadership, that I find really interesting, because it's interesting to hear you talk about it like in the beginning of the presentation as a benefit, which is what I've always thought. So it's nice to hear that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let's go. And also we have the part 2, the coaching and leadership skills. So let's a little bit summarize this thing. Every group has the 4 stages of the group dynamics. Is the forming, storming, and norming. And you as a leader, or you as a team builder, should understand that, and you should help your team go through the stage number 2, because stage number 2 is the most like problem part of this way. And when you can put your team to the stage number 3, then you need only to give them like small challenges, and to control the situations, drop them like little conflicts, and so on. And to stage number 1, the most important things, as you always try to create the rules. This is not about you can do that and so on. This is about people to understand how they can act, and what they can and what they can do. So this is not about the aggressive. This is like about the rules and the frames. And the stage number 2 is talking like as much as possible, trying to find out the goals and the values of the group members, and then combine them to the vision of the company or of the group. And also escalating the conflicts, or sometimes, it can be also one kind of tricky. You can help people get conflicts also. if you are confident in yourself, you can like you can just let these conflicts happen, and after that it will be like more safety atmosphere in the company, because like they don't have any problems with each other at all. So, and now we are going to part number 2, is like the coaching leadership skills. And here's the one and only slide, because unfortunately we can talk like for hours about that, and I tried to share the principles which I was using, and I hope it will be useful for you. So the principle number 1 is help people to grow. You need to show that you are interesting and you want to help another people grow. People feel like, let's say, people feel everything, and if you will do this, they will give you back. So always ask an open questions, and this is like more about the coaching. So let's say, for example, like don't ask like why did you do that? But of course you can't if you know what to do with this information. Always try to ask how we can solve this problem. Yeah, and this is about asking the people what they have inside, because you know when your team member or when your worker feels that he or she is not necessary, or he don't feel its own value, it let's say it's not very good for the team. So ask as many questions as possible, especially in the beginning. Try to communicate with all the members and try to understand, because the questions will help to understand the values and the goals of the team members. So this is the one point. And also find out the goals and the motivation of the people. If you know what are they working for, this will be like your secret, the main secret, and you just need to show them how they can get these goals and how they can get these values, and that's it. So show them that you are interested. This is also part of the first equation, help people to grow. I think because that's why boss differs from the leader, because leader always interested in team, and leader understand that if his team have the good opportunities, and if his team have the good feeling inside, this team always will make more than possible, and this team will also make impossible things. But this is also the part of the leader to prepare all this atmosphere and prepare the situation, and to talk with one and with another and so on. So this is like about the management and leadership, and this is like also we can talk about like for an hour. And 2 more very important things to the dessert. It's keep balance of the support and frustration. You know, if you always tell your team member that everything okay, you are perfect, and so on, he start to think that he is perfect, that everything okay. So always need to keep like this balance, you know, between the real feedback that like you need to fix this, or you maybe you should make like this in this kind of situation, and so on, and also give support. Because if you always give the frustration to the person, let's say let's see that on example of like workers. If you always say your workers that, oh, this is bad, this you do wrong, here like you late, here so here is this problem, he will feel very bad, and definitely he will leave. And also if you give too much support, it can be also very, very bad. Yeah, I could also talk about this for hours. Yeah, true. So this is about the balance, because the balance is very important, especially when you are working with the workers. And the last but not the least, for me it's also very important thing. It's about like the leadership, and this is what I found into the coaching. This is give responsibility and control it. Because as I said in the beginning, when you're opening the business, just on the stage, when you are thinking about the opening the business, you need to understand how you will get out of this business. In these situations, you won't be a slave of this business, and in these situations, you can start a new business which can work without you. So this is the first idea, and to do that, of course, a lot of people are afraid. A lot of leaders maybe are afraid to give responsibility to their team, to their workers, and so on. And in that case, you can never go out of the business. You will also, you will also try to fix these small fires by yourself. If you don't give responsibility to your team, first problem is that you will need to solve all these problems by yourself. It's a very big problem and it takes a lot of time. And if you don't give responsibility to your team members, they don't feel like they self-confident and they don't feel full. They feel like just they are a small part of kind of system and so on. But if you start to give responsibility to your workers, to your team members, you will see how it helps. Like, for example, in the restaurant area, it's very important because, like, what situations I had, like I was missing at my cafe, and suddenly, like, let's say the chicken was over, so we don't have like any chicken, but it was 11 a.m. in the morning, and we have like full day still working. And what my chef do and what my cook do, let's say, he just take a car and go to the shop, and he bought this chicken and prepare a new meal and start to selling forward, instead of telling everybody, sorry, we don't have chicken. So this is what about the responsibility, and the workers know that this is like this is responsibility what they need to take. And if you show that you can give them this kind of responsibility, it can help you in such kind of like small situations. But I think it's very important for me also to people can make their own decisions, first of all, because if they start to make their own decisions, they will take, let's say, they will take less of your energy. One more example is like I had team of the, like, let's say 5 workers, and they need to, it's about also the give them responsibility, and they need to change. They need to change the days between each other, right? So of course it's good example in the small teams, but anyway, so what it can be, if you are a leader who don't give the responsibility to your people, if you are not this kind of leader, so the worker who need to change will come to you. He will tell you his problem, that I need to change, I need this day off, and so on. And then you will need to talk to each and other persons and to ask them if they can, and then combine. Now, what did my team what my team did? So they solved this problem inside, and they only came to me and say that, Sergei, we changed with Masha. Masha will come on Friday, and I will Friday off, and that's it. So, and this is the good example of how people can communicate inside. And my question is like, why did you tell me this? And she just said, just let you know, just you was not surprised. So this shows that the team can take responsibility, and they understand that I have another things to do, and they try to solve their problems inside the community. And this is also very important, because you can doing more strategy things, like as a leader or as a boss or whatever. But of course, when you're given responsibility, it's like with the kids, you give them responsibility and always control them, because this is the very important part of the balance. If you just give to the people responsibility, just drop them, oh, now you need to do this and this, so it can be very dangerous, because I don't know, a lot of problems can be happen. If you understand that you need to give responsibilities to the people, I can advise, let's say, to do it like step by step, and always control the steps. Always control. Of course, this control can be more like warm, especially in the small teams. So like you control and you help people. That's like help people to grow and show that you are interested. This is like the most things what very important, because the relationships is very important. And if you have relationships with the people, they this is the idea, they will do more and more and more, and also you need to pay like less money for that. So give responsibility and control. And how also it was in my case, I had the girl, let's say lady, who came to me for work as the cook helper. I hope it's right. And it was like an interesting situation that she hadn't been at work 16 years before. So she hadn't been worked 16 years. And then she came to me and she started to the cook helper. And after 1 year, she was, let's say, 2 or 3 months, she was a head chef, because I gave her responsibility a little bit. I control this, I see that she can do this, then I start to pay her more, and so on and so on. And in this case, you can help people grow, and from the other side, you give your responsibilities, so you have more times to do another things. Let's say how it was working in my case. And that's it. And that's it, guys. Maybe you have no. So please join us for free at www.xeshelsinki.com. We make a lot of huge, interesting events, and everything is for free. You can also find the mentors, you can find the friends, and you can find a lot of interesting things inside the community. And also, welcome to my friend list, to the LinkedIn. You can scan just this QR code and send me friends request. That's all from my part. Maybe you have some kind of questions or some kind of feedback or some kind of ideas. I will be happy to hear.
Thank you, Sergei. I already asked you this, but I will ask again that
Okay.
what kind of tips you have for, I'm also writing my thesis on this topic, that how leaders engage their teams virtually. So what kind of tips you would give to like a person who maybe is a new leader and now in this situation has to kind of build the team and keep the team spirit up, but now everything is online. So do you have any tips for that?
Okay, first of all, it depends of the team, how big is team. And first you need to find out everybody's. So you need to talk more with everybody and also define some kind of keys, let's say, for the friendship, for engagement. And the main idea is to connect the people's goal with the goal of the project. Yep. Understand? And how to do that is like asking more questions and more communicate and making more engagement things. Because not only maybe giving, like showing your interest, not only giving the tasks like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. More ask people like how, like it's about questions, maybe how they see this, how they can do this, or how how and when and where. And also I think like this bullets can help from my side. So it's like the questions show that you want to help grow, ask how people see that, and maybe you can combine some kind of ideas. Because maybe like the way you do this is not very interesting to some kind of people. Maybe they have better idea, but maybe not. So here is like the balance between the responsibility and control also. So this is the way of learning. You know, you should test, you should check, you should like give a lot of information and then understand what's going on. Good real life examples and easy to understand. Thank you, Sergei. Thank you, Yulia. It's easy to understand because my English. is like not very well still.
I thought you did great, and I don't know, I like when people keep it simple because, you know, for a lot of us, these are maybe things we're familiar with in some way, but you sort of like bring it into like a higher level of the concept. So I think that it helps everybody to understand, especially since we're from different backgrounds. And I have to tell you just really quickly, this is a tactic that was actually used when I was talking to our company's COO today. So I think it's actually a great thing to do. Keep it simple.
Okay, thank you. So I think we can finish that. We can finish our meeting, guys.
Thank you very much, and nice to meet you all of you.
Thank you, Sergei, and nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hope to see you again at Xes.
Bye.